post, my Pro Tour top 8 deck played by Jesse Hampton, built with help from Adam Yurchik and Max Pincus. Much love, welcome in here. A little bit of Pro Tour history, a little bit of T-Woo T-Wizard history. Previously made a video about this, and we'll probably put a link up somewhere here, interview with Adam Yurchik where we talk about the development of this deck in detail, but we're going to do a deck tech here, help you build better ramp decks, help you build better combo decks, help you understand how to win matchups, help you build a Pro Tour top 8 deck without even being in the top 8 yourself if that's what you want. So this was Jesse Hampton played this to top 8, 2011 Pro Tour. Philadelphia, first modern Pro Tour, ended up losing to Mono Blue Infect Sam Black in the top 8 in a somewhat close match. And this is a deck that I did most of the development by myself. I believe I did some talking with Cedric and Arielax. A lot of people were playing a similar deck. Got to the Pro Tour house and got some additional help from Adam Yurchik and Max Pincus. Jesse Hampton, my buddy from the Junior Super Series, needed a deck. I sent him this list. He ended up playing it and did well in draft, made it to the top 8. Adam and I didn't do great in draft and did well with the deck, so we weren't there. But it's a cool story. So again, the metagame at this tournament, there was some control, but there was a lot of zoo, there was a little bit of combo, some mid-range, and we built a deck that was very, very good against aggro, mid-range, and control. Just crushed the fast decks because it's pretty good at stabilizing with life gain, very good at powering through, very good at winning the long game. And we made a version that was faster than all the other versions of Cloud Post. We could win on turn 3. No one else was really doing that, or was doing it very rarely, much less consistently. So that gave us a big edge. Our version was, turn 3 isn't super fast, but with turn 3 and turn 3 disruption, we had the best chance against combo, and that was good enough to make it to the top 8. So the basic premise of this deck is a ramp deck that using Cloud Post and Glimmer Post. Cloud Post is now banned from this, as is Green Sun Zenith. So Cloud Post taps to add a mana for each locus you control. So if you have 2 Cloud Posts, you got 4 mana from 2 lands, which is pretty crazy. There's also Glimmer Post, which comes into play untapped, and when it comes into play, you gain 1 life for each locus. So between Cloud Post and Glimmer Post, you have a mana engine and a life gain engine. The life gain engine lets you beat the aggro decks, and the mana engine lets you beat the control decks. So that's basically what the deck is about. Now, what made our version better is what most people were doing was playing stuff like Expedition Map and Sylvan Scrying that you would conventionally see in Red-Green Tron decks, but we didn't play any of that because we wanted a deck that was very fast at either Through the Breach Emrakul or casting Primeval Titan. Sylvan Scrying does not help you cast a turn 3 Primeval Titan, right? Because you Sylvan Scrying, you play the land on turn 3 and then go for turn 4. Expedition Map, similarly. So we didn't play anything that searched for lands. We played Wall of Roots, we played Overgrown Battlement, we played Green Sun Zenith. So and the reason why is the goal is just get to Through the Breach or get to Primeval Titan as fast as possible. Also, people were not playing Through the Breach. There was one other team that almost made top 8 that was playing Through the Breach. Through the Breach is really good here because we're playing Emrakul anyways as our top end. We can turn 3 Through the Breach. That actually gives us a fast game so that we can beat combo decks and just get free wins. And also Through the Breach Primeval Titan is pretty decent because we get to attack and grab 4 lands right then with Cloud Post or Glimmer Post to stabilize, hit them for 6, untap, and do like Green Sun Zenith for something stupid, combo off. So that is the basic premise of the deck. Let's talk through a few key cards. So we have Green Sun Zenith, which is massive for consistency because it is 4 more Primeval Titans. But what got this card banned is for a green mana. We can also, actually hang on, we've got Punishing Fire in the sideboard, which is a huge innovation. So we have Green Sun Zenith, which lets you go get Dryad Arbor. So we can start the game ramping with Green Sun Zenith if that's what we need, or in the late game we can get Primeval Titan, or we can even get the Dawnfather Terastodon, comes in, blows some shit up, makes some elephants, or It was another Terastodon is another good through the breach thing. You go turn 3, end of turn through the breach Terastodon. That's actually 18 damage, so that can be enough for a kill. And then on the second turn, we've got stuff like Overgrown Battlements and Wall of Roots. And there was actually a match in the feature match area where Adam Yurchik had all of his lands destroyed in the mirror, but managed to get 4 Overgrown Battlements in play, which tapped for 16 mana. Play an Ulamog, which is another big boss we have, and win. So we're also playing Gruul Signet, where other people were playing stuff like the aforementioned land search cards, because we just want to ramp, and that gives us games like turn 1 Cloud Post, turn 2 Cloud Post, Gruul Signet, turn 3. That's going to be 6 mana for Primeval Titan on the third turn, and that's what we're trying to do. Or we could just do stuff like turn 1 Green Source, Green Sun Zenith for a Dryad Arbor, turn 2 any kind of ramp at all, turn 3 that's through the Breach Primeval Titan. So we had fast draws. Not as fast as stuff like Infect, but again, we had the life gain. We're a lot more resilient. We can grind through counterspells. Eventually, counterspells aren't great against Emrakul. And yeah, it makes for a pretty sweet deck. We also have Eye of Ugin, of course. Get that with Prime Time. We threw the breach Primeval Titan. We can Eye of Ugin search up whatever colorless land we need. We also have Stomping Ground, which is definitely worth mentioning. This is a 12 post deck, so or rather Vesuva. So Vesuva is our 12 post. I mean, we go turn 1 Cloud Post, turn 2 Vesuva, and copy the Cloud Post. It also gives us insane life gain off Glimmer Post. Gives us way more consistent nut draws, and is just insane, right? So that's why Cloud Post got banned. So let's cover a few sideboarding things. Punishing Fire is the big one. Whenever the opponent gains life, we can pick it up from our hand and cast it to do 2 damage to creature player. Combo that with Grove of the Burn Wolves, and we can infinitely cast Punishing Fire. I know that's kind of obvious, but no one else was playing this at this tournament because the creature decks, their affinity wasn't so popular. Most people were playing 3 toughness creatures, so people thought, okay, Punishing Fire is not very good in this format. But no one thought to play it in the sideboard. So we're playing Grove of the Burn Wolves in the main deck because it comes into play untapped, and we don't really care about the opponent's life if we're winning with Emrakul. And from the sideboard, we can bring in Punishing Fire against the decks that we want it against, like Affinity, Hate Bears, or the Infect deck, and that really helped us out. Also playing Brooding Saurian for one of the coolest plays ever. 2 green. At the end of each turn, each player gains control of all non-token permanents he or she owns. This is a way to regain stuff your opponent took. So we want this because the opponent, a lot of people were playing Bribery at this tournament, which for 5 mana takes an Emrakul from our deck and puts it into play. And the interesting thing is, okay, so they're going to Bribery our Emrakul, but we can untap and Green Sun Zenith for Brooding Saurian and get our Emrakul back. However, the play gets even deeper because if the opponent is going to Bribery, they're going to look and they're going to see Brooding Saurian in our deck, and from there they're going to count the Green Sun Zeniths. If they count 4 Green Sun Zeniths, they know that we don't have Green Sun Zenith and they can grab Emrakul anyways, and they're safe. But if there's a Green Sun Zenith missing, it means it's in our hand, and they cannot get Emrakul, or they're just going to lose to Brooding Saurian. So the sideboarding plan is to cut Green Sun Zenith from the deck, a 1 of for Brooding Saurian. So if the opponent plays Bribery, they're going to see Brooding Saurian, count the Green Sun Zeniths, assume 1 is in our hand even though it's in our sideboard, and not get anything with Bribery. So that was an insanely sweet play, which didn't end up coming up, but is really sweet. So I think Jesse could have won the Pro Tour if instead of Chalice of the Void we had played Spellskite. Chalice ended up not being very good. Spellskite would have been much better. We didn't really know how good Spellskite was going to be, that it could have got him past Infect, and then he would have probably beaten Josh Utter-Layton in the top 4 playing Zoo, and then with Spellskite could have even beat Splinter Twin in the finals. So I still regret that we didn't have Spellskite. We're, I think, a Spellskite away from winning the Pro Tour, and my life would probably be slightly different. I don't know if better or for worse in what ways, but that would have been cool. Other key points. So I played 1 Sakura Tribe Elder as a way to get red mana off of Green Sun Zenith, which made us play a mountain. If I would go back in time, I would cut the mountain and play a Birds of Paradise instead of Sakura Tribe Elder. I didn't think to do that. Also had an Oracle of Moldiah. There might have been too many like random search things like Oracle and Terastodon. I'm not sure. And then the last card, forgot to mention, but we're back here. This is Adam's edition, is Beast Within. I was too hellbent on just being, you know, all in, but Adam's like, yo, we need disruption. This is the best available disruption. It can blow up lands in the mirror match. It can blow up infect creatures. It can blow up a land to shut down their counter mana for a turn, or it can blow up Splinter Twin at instant speed. We need to play this. It's like, all right, you're right, Adam. Thank you. And it ended up really helping out a lot. And 3 mana doesn't turn out to be very much when you've got Cloud Posts. It's more like 2 mana. So that was the deck. This is my Pro Tour top 8 deck. Really a big bucket list thing for me. Really sweet deck, and those were a fun time. And I hope that you find this useful as long as you, if you're, especially if you're a ramp player or a deck builder or whatever, you want to know how to make best use of drawing from history, the decks, then I recommend checking out the Deck Mastery ebook. Go into depth in there about how to draw from the past for current projects. I also recommend, as always, getting the free group, Magic for Good, and get in the van, and take the free workshop with links below to all of that. Shout out to Adam Yurchik, shout out to Max Pincus. Max Pincus made the Punishing Fire Grove of the Burnwell suggestion. Forgot to mention that. Before Max came in, I was playing fetch lands and stomping grounds and just paying too much life. So that really helped like tremendously. And that's the deck. Go check out the interview with Adam Yurchik as well to hear about the story inside the house and so on. So thank you for watching and much love. Take action. Speak with you soon.